Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're gonna be looking at Marvel Legends Green Goblin from Spider-Man No Way Home. This is one of those figures about which I heard a lot of good things. I also heard that there are some issues with the ankle articulation for him to stand properly on that glider, but we'll get to that. First, here is a quick look at the box with the render of our figure, logo down here, Marvel Legends Green Goblin at the top. Here is the top of the box with a Spidey logo. Here is the bottom of the box with legalese, Green Goblin on one side, Green Goblin illustration on the other side, and here is the back of the box showing us everything that is included in this set. I love this head sculpt and I love the fact that they included this alternate Green Goblin helmet. That's enough about the box. Let's open it up and let's take a look at the figure. So here is our Green Goblin out of the box, and I like what I'm seeing here. The overall look of the figure looks fantastic. Hasbro did such a great job in terms of the sculpt. The proportions look good. He does have maybe a bit bigger belly. I'm not sure how accurate that is to the movie, but as far as the rest of the figure goes, the look of it overall is fantastic. I mean, you will find a lot of nicely sculpted details even on the back of the figure. The metallic pieces look vibrant and reflective, so that is great. I like the silhouette of this figure, but now let's take a closer look at the details. That head sculpt, and especially the face, looks fantastic. Because I want to see the full head sculpt, I will take off this hood and the goggles. Pops off fairly easily. The head comes out of the hood, and this is how the hood looks like by itself. It's a nice sculpt with some texture on it and the imitation of the stitches and the edges, a little bit of wrinkling sculpted up here. Here it looks like it's stitched up, a seam line in the back, and here is the lower part that also has some nicely sculpted wrinkles so that it looks like it drapes naturally on his shoulders. And then here is the head sculpt with the goggles, and the goggles do look nice. It's a simple sculpt, but you can see even on the strap that there is also some sculpted texture on it. It is simple, but it looks good. And then let's pop the head back on. There is a nice pop, and now we have a better look at the William Dafoe head sculpt. And my god, Hasbro really killed it with this head sculpt. From all angles, from the front or from the side, they nailed the likeness to the actor. That menacing face expression, everything is really beautifully sculpted, and then the hair, the sculpt looks really good. This is probably one of the better head sculpts that Hasbro has ever made, not just for their Marvel Legends line, but in general. And then we can look at the rest of the details. The purple poncho is also nicely sculpted. It looks like it's torn with all these holes and damaged details on it. It's made out of softer plastic, so it's probably removable, and I don't think that it hinders the articulation, so that's good. The belt looks good. They painted most of the details, like the buckle here. Buckles on this strap here are not painted, but for example these are painted in yellow. And then we have some metallic silver details. Here is the back of the belt, a huge pouch on the side, and this is really a great looking sculpt. The belt is connected to this strap that goes across his body and underneath this poncho piece, and you can see that it's connected here to the back as well. And then for the rest of the suit, I feel like they really did a phenomenal job with all of these technical sculpted details and the weapons. And we have that variety of colors, the mix of metallic green and then those purple parts that are scattered across the whole suit. If you take a closer look, you can see that there are some yellow painted details and silver details as well. A lot of these all kinds of different plates and layers that go on top of each other. And then on his left arm we see his bladed weapon with blades fully extended, and this is a softer type of plastic, so it's pliable. Even here you can see that they painted these different parts of the weapon, and then even the hands have these sculpted grooves on them, these small lines, so they really took an extra step with the sculpt and the paint job on this figure. And then silver pieces for the knees and the shins. Feet also look good. There is a purple piece sculpted on his right foot. Wow. while the same is missing from the left one, so that's a kind of asymmetry. Overall, a great looking Marvel Legends figure. Now, let's take a look at his accessories. We already saw the goggles and the hood, and then he comes with one pumpkin bomb, and it's a small accessory, but there is a little bit of sculpt on it, a little bit of texture, and it is painted in orange, but then this top detail is painted in vibrant green. On the bottom there is another sculpted circle, but this one is not painted. And then he comes with a beautifully sculpted Green Goblin alternate helmeted head sculpt, and this is straight from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. It looks beautiful, it looks just like we saw it in the movies. The eyes look menacing and they have that metallic shine on them. They are painted in a kind of yellow gold color. With the light reflecting on the surface, they almost look like they are glowing, and that gives that demonic look to the face. Mouth are nicely sculpted as well, with those teeth. The nose looks really good as well, and then the ears, the cheeks. Here is the top of the helmet, and then the back of the helmet. I feel like for a lot of people, this will probably be one of the main accessories in this set. SH Figure Arts also released their version of Green Goblin, and that one is much more expensive, and it probably does come with more accessories, but from what I saw, it doesn't come with this accessory. So Hasbro's version definitely has this over that SHF release. I have to say that I'm extremely satisfied with this accessory, and I'm happy that Hasbro decided to include it in this release. And then he comes with his huge glider, because what would Green Goblin be without his glider? This is an important part of the character, and I'm glad that Hasbro decided to include it together with the figure instead of releasing it in a separate release. The sculpt here looks really good. It is a huge glider. It also has some articulation points, so that is good. There are a lot of sculpted technical details on these panels here, and on these light purple parts you can see the sculpted texture. These should probably be pumpkin bombs, but unfortunately they are not painted. We have two peg holes here, and these are on a hinge, because you also get a pair of these pieces that are a part of the glider. You simply connect them to the glider, and these are used for him to insert his feet, and you can see that there is even a peg here so that you can connect the figure more securely to the glider. And even when we open the upper part like this, you can see that there are a lot of nicely sculpted technical details on the inside here. So Hasbro really did a great job. Here is the lower side of the glider, and again we have some great sculpting going on here. A lot of these weapons, rockets and blades all around the place, and then the mechanics for the articulation of the wings. Everything looks really good, but this lower side of the glider is not painted at all, and it does look kind of plain and plasticky. But on the other hand, this is probably the side of the glider that you won't be seeing for the most part, because you will be posing the figure on top of it. The most important thing is what happens up here. Here is a look at the back side. So here are the thrusters, and they are also really well sculpted and painted in green. So those details kind of give an extra life to the glider. I mean, overall, for the price, I think that Hasbro really did a great job with this vehicle. And then when we go to the underside one more time, you can see that there is a huge hole here in the middle, and that is because Hasbro also included a flight stand, and this is a nice surprise, because I remember having their retro carded Goblin from the 90s cartoon, and that figure also came with the cartoon version of the glider, but without any stand. But this time Hasbro decided to include this, and in the Black Series line, this came with their speeder bike and biker scout set. It has this kind of rectangular shape, and there are these three tips that are shaped like balls, and each neck has different length so that you can adjust the height of Goblin flying on his glider. So if you want him to glide higher, then you will use the longest neck, and if you want him to glide a bit lower, you will use the shorter one, and then this is the shortest one. So they give you three different options figures. So a nice engineering and a nice design choice. And there you go. And because of the way that it's shaped, you practically get a ball joint so that the glider can tilt and lean forward or lean back. Again, a great design choice. And then we can connect these two pieces for his feet. On the lower side, you can see this L here, while the other one has R. So left side and right side, you simply connect two pieces together. And now this is how a fully finished Green Goblin's glider looks like. And now these are on a hinge and they swivel. So those are also additional articulation points, and that is great. Now, let's take a look at his articulation. The head is on that ball peg, and that's where you will get most of the movement. I would say that this is good enough. He looks down a little bit, up just slightly better. You get a little bit of side to side tilt and a full rotation. Arms move out all the way and rotate 360. Interestingly, this guy doesn't have a butterfly joint. It's always strange to me when Hasbro decides to do that because recently most of their figures have those butterfly joints. There is a bicep swivel, double jointed bend in the elbow, swivel in the wrist, and the in and out hinge, and we get the same thing for the other hand. Torso has only one cut and it's here in the middle, and so there we will get our twist and the tilt, but for the forward crunch you only get this much and then this much back. Was kind of hoping to get a bit more out of that torso articulation. We have a drop down hip. Wow, I really didn't expect that. So with those drop down hips, the legs move out this much, they kick forward this much, back only this much, there is a tie cut for the swivel, double jointed pinless knees, there is no ankle swivel, and if I remember correctly, that is the main articulation issue, which a lot of people pointed out. I'm not sure why Hasbro decided not to give this guy an ankle swivel, because the cut could have been done right here at this point. It's sculpted in such a perfect way that the cut right here would be practically seamless. So I don't know why they didn't do that, because that would enhance his posability on the glider. But moving forward, the feet move forward this much, back all the way. We have a generous ankle pivot and peg holes at the bottom of his feet, which are important for posing this guy on his glider. Let's now compare our Green Goblin with some other figures. Here he is with Marvel Legends Spider-Man 2 Doc Ock and Marvel Legends AliExpress bootleg movie Venom. Here he is with Marvel Legends Rhino, the retro carded version, and another Marvel Legends bootleg from AliExpress, it's Juggernaut. And now let's compare him with some different Spider-Man figures. First off, we have the Marvel Legends Tom Holland upgraded suit, I think, and the same upgraded suit Spider-Man, but the SH Figure Arts version. Here is how he scales with the SH Figure Arts Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and the SH Figure Arts The Amazing Spider-Man. Here he is with Marvel Legends Symbiote Suit Spider-Man and the Mayfax Classic Suit Spider-Man. And finally, here he is with the Mayfax Peter B. Parker and Sentinel Peter B. Parker. And so overall, at the end, I have to say that I really like this release. Hasbro did an incredible job on the sculpt here, especially on that beautiful head sculpt. Again, it's probably one of the best head sculpts that they ever made in general. The body is kind of bulky in the stomach area, but the proportions overall do look good. The articulation is good, but it's not great. It could be slightly better if they gave us a little bit more range in the torso so that he can crunch forward a little bit more, and butterfly joints would probably also help a little bit with the movement of the arms across the chest. But then the most important articulation point that is missing on this figure is the ankle swivel. For some reason they decided not to include that articulation point on this body. You have to keep in mind that you do get the glider, which is huge and which is nicely sculpted, and it is also articulated. Overall, as I said, I'm really satisfied with this. I am satisfied with the amount amount of accessories that he comes with, and I will try my best to pose him in all kinds of different dynamic poses for his posing video, so stay tuned for that. And now I would love to hear you guys. What do you think about this release? I mean, by now this figure is out for quite some time, so probably a lot of you guys already have this figure in your collection. What do you think about the figure overall? What do you think about the amount of accessories? Let me know all of that down in the comments. Special thank you goes out to my supporters on Patreon, and of course to the rest of you guys. Thank you all so much for watching my videos. Thank you for being here with me, and I'll see ya in the next one.